Even a criminal is best trained when you make him become a bishop. And so even the worst rider is made good by training him how to save lives.
Kukitokea accident kwa barabara ama crash, watu wa bodaboda ndio wanakuaga wa kwanza kufika kwa ile scene, nao tu ndio wanaweza okoa wale majeruhi.
We shall collaborate to train at least 200,000 Boda Boda riders on first aid and structured approach to boost first responder capacity in our country.
We know that the war on road crash cannot be won by training alone.
Road crashes in Kenya have become a grim reality. In the year 2024 alone, according to the data from the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), over 7,000 Kenyans have been involved in road crashes and more than 1,000 lost their lives. But now, Boda Boda riders are stepping up, not just as riders, but as lifesavers. This is the story of how the Boda Boda riders are transforming from transporters to fast responders. My name is Chris Omondi. According to the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA), between January and April 2024, 7,194 Kenyans were involved in road crashes. 1,189 lost their lives, while 3,316 sustained serious injuries and 2,693 suffered minor injuries. With over 4,000 road deaths annually, this crisis demands urgent action. In response, the government launched an initiative to equip Boda Boda riders with first aid skills. In June 2022, President Uhuru Kenyatta directed the Ministry of Transport to collaborate with St. John Ambulance to train 200,000 Boda Boda riders across the country. The goal: to equip them with the first aid skills that could save lives.
Under a program with the Ministry of Transport, we shall collaborate with St. John to train at least 200,000 Boda Boda riders on first aid and structured approach to major medical incidents to boost first responder capacity in our country.
Boda Boda riders are often the first to arrive at the scene of crash. The first role in saving lives is vital. I'm here with one of the Boda Boda operators who has undergone the training on first aid. I want to find out how this training has impacted on his daily life and probably a comparison before he had the training and after the training.
Okay, my names are Victor Ocheng. I'm from here, Nairobi. I'm first aid training. The first training I took only 1 week, and then the second training, which now I got a certificate, I took 2 weeks. So in total, I took 3 weeks.
How has this training on first aid helped you in your work as Boda Boda operator?
First of all, I know how to handle somebody in accident scene. When we are using our motorbike, mostly we are interacting with more accident on the road.
Eli Kegode, Deputy Chairperson of Boda Boda Safety Association in Nairobi, explains why this training is crucial.
First aid skills among Boda Boda riders are crucial for saving lives during road crashes in Kenya. Boda Bodas are the most common means of transport in the country, and equipping more riders with essential first aid skills greatly enhances road safety. That's why we partnered with the St. John Ambulance and the government of Kenya to train more Boda Boda operators in first aid, boosting the capacity for timely response during road crashes across Kenya.
Tunasaidia pale pakubwa.
Fred Majiwa, Senior Manager at St. John Ambulance, sheds light on the importance of this initiative, especially given the high fatality rates among Boda Boda riders.
In this country, road accident claims many lives. In fact, more than 4,000 lives are lost on our roads every day. And more than half of the deaths involving Boda Boda riders. So this contributes more than half of the deaths that occur in Kenya. And so we realize that there is need to focus on this sector that is contributing so much to the road deaths. And one of the initiatives that we found very relevant was training these riders on how to do post-crash care. So we were training them on first aid, on emergency response, and we were looking at even what we observed earlier, that when an accident occurs, you must find a Boda Boda on that site. But those Boda Bodas, we noted that they were not trained, so they were having a very good heart to help, but they didn't have the skills. And so they end up compounding the problems. So we trained many Boda Bodas. In fact, close to 10,000 Boda Bodas have been trained in all the sub-counties of Nairobi. And we started by training their leaders, because they are organized into stage leadership, county leadership, and sub-county leadership. Then their leaders, also we involve them in now engaging the rest to be trained. And even in some of the trainings, we were inviting the National Transport Safety Authority officials, we were inviting the traffic police officials, so that there can be a kind of stakeholder engagement to find a lasting solution. We know that the war on road crash cannot be won by training alone. And so there has to be prevention aspect of it, there has to be enforcement part of it, and there has to be a kind of collaboration in it.
Michael Karanja, a driving instructor at Arusi Driving School in Korogosho, Nairobi, highlights how Boda Boda riders are often first at the scene of crash, making their role critical in post-crash care.
In the event of a road crash, Boda Boda riders are usually the first to arrive at the scene, and they are often the one who can help save lives.
For Boda Boda rider Joel Amboka, the first aid training he received has had profound impact. He shares a personal experience of how he applied skills he learned to save a life.
I was the first to be trained in first aid under this program. With these skills, I have been able to assist in cases of road crashes. There was a time I was traveling to my rural home in Western Kenya from Nairobi on my Boda Boda. When I reached Londiani along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway, I came across a road crash involving a trailer. The driver was badly injured, and I was the first to arrive at the scene. Fortunately, I had my first aid kit with me. I used the first aid skills I had learned to stabilize the injured driver, and then called an ambulance, which transported him to the hospital for further medical attention. I felt so happy because I was able to help.
Fred Majiwa also elaborates on how the training program is structured and the challenges they face.
The first step we go is to discuss with their leaders so that they can identify potential trainees. So once they identify potential trainees, we arrange their trainings that the shortest duration is 1 day, but there are some whom we have trained for 3 days. 3 days is a bit comprehensive than 1 day. But that is because of the availability of resources. When we have more, we take them comprehensively for 3 days, which is the most advanced. When resources are limited, we do a crash course, which takes 1 day. You know, we have to provide for them, including the daily stipend for the day, because most of the riders are hand to mouth. If you take them off the road, you have to give him what he could have earned. So we give them something a little to at least go back home and to allow them concentrate on the training. Then once they undergo the training, we certify them, which are in duplicate, one to keep at home and the other one to. And then we take their details of those who have been trained, so that we don't repeat the training. We only train those who have not been.
Behavior change is a key goal in training. Fred Majiwa explains how it shifted perceptions about the Boda Boda riders.
When we started training them, of course, that is the time that their name was worst. Mm-hmm. And one of the best ways to make their name good is to start participating in life-saving and rescue efforts. Even a criminal is best trained when you make him become a bishop. And so even the worst rider is made good by training him how to save lives. And so the training was also part of behavior change.
While the initiative has trained nearly 10,000 riders, it faces significant challenges. With over 1.6 million Boda Boda riders in Kenya, resources are stretched thinner.
In fact, they are not satisfied with what we have provided. They want us to put up a center that is stocked with first aid for them, so that when an accident occurs, they can rush to that center, pick the first aid materials and go do rescue effort. But if you look at the number of Boda Boda riders in the country, they are in excess of, I think, more than 1.6 million. Yet we have just trained about 10,000 of them, which is a drop in the ocean. But that is because of the resources that we have.
Victor Ochieng, another Boda Boda rider, shares how the training has impacted in his work, recounts a recent experience where he was able to use his skills in the real-life scenario.
So yesterday, I got somebody, so she fall down and start kicking legs. I told these people, can you please remove the shoes? They ignore. Can you please remove the sweaters and the kofia? They ignore. Then I stopped my motorbike. I wear my gloves. I start removing shoes, and then I remove sweaters. Then I make sound. Loudly I scream so that I can see a motorist or a taxi driver. We help that person because the driver who stopped his car was a nurse and helped me how to manage the situation. And then we pick that person to the hospital, and then she got a treatment, and then she go home.
The initiative has shown great promise in boosting first aid response capacity in Kenya. However, much more needs to be done to reach the remaining Boda Boda riders and expand the program's impact. The Boda Boda rider training program is a vital part of Kenya's broader effort to reduce road fatalities and save lives. With continued collaboration between stakeholders, the future of road safety in Kenya could become much brighter. My name is Chris Omondi.